This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello, it's glad to know you are watching your program. This is your #1 business television program, and you are watching Business and Economy Network. My name is Peter Moche. I want to appreciate all of you in Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ilori, Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto. Those of you watching outside the shores of Nigeria via the online channels, I want to say thank you so very much. Now for the program rundown today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for special report, we are looking at National Biotechnology Development Agency. We have the Acting Director General in the block. This is an agency of government saddled with the responsibility of biotechnology, using biotechnology for agriculture advancement and for health, among other things. And for company focus, we have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Venus Medicare Limited, formerly Zenith Medicare. This is a company responsible for health, helping you in case you're unable, to have bulk money for hospital or for any ill health. They are there for you. For Spotlight, we have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of UBA Pension Custodian Limited, one of the custodians, for pension fund administrators in Nigeria. Now, highlights, sights and sound, recent visit of the District Governor of Rotary, visiting a unique club, Rotary Club of Alamo. It's going to be an interesting watch. I'll be back after this time.
The role of biotechnology to national development cannot be overemphasized. The National Biotechnology Development Agency is aimed at promoting, coordinating, and setting research and development priorities in biotechnology in Nigeria. Professor Alex Owadiegu Akpa is the Acting Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the agency. In a chat with Business and Economy Network crew, the Acting Director General took time to present some of his agenda to Nigerians. He said research and development will be enhanced. The agency will be provided with necessary amenities like a mini bank, crèche, cafeteria, and there will be a massive increase in food production through modern biotechnology, considering the increasing rate of Nigerians' population.
In 2018, as I told the board, members of our management team, in 2018, there's going to be a slight shift. A paradigm shift from what we've been doing in the past 16 years. We'll be looking at putting projects, biotech projects, bioeconomy will be emphasized, productive sector. The area of just research for the sake of research, we think we should put more effort starting from 2018 in local production. And in this agency, we have over 70 hectares behind here, which is lying waste. So that huge land we want to put into use. Already we started making contacts. Biocrops, for instance, wants to go into partnership with us in the mass propagation of planting materials. Through that project, we plan to produce hundreds of thousands of elite yam seedlings within a very, very short time. We're also thinking of local production of diagnostics. The WHO TDR has shown interest in this, and we are now very willing to partner with them to accelerate the process. So within a short time, we should be able to, within this our agency, manufacture diagnostic kits. We're also going to do the same in the area of biogas. It's an area we've not been taking good care of. We produce hundreds of millions of tons of organic waste every day in different parts of the country, different cities. But this can be converted to gas, cooking gas, which can be piped into homes. People can come and buy them cheaply and use to power, cook, and power other facilities in the home. We'll be interested very heavily in staff welfare. And for that reason, we'll be doing a medical research center, which will also serve as medical clinic for our staff. And in that center, we do state-of-the-art research on different aspects of health and healthcare delivery, including things like HIV, infectious diseases, in particular HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and so on. We have been on local vaccine production for over 10 years now. The manufacture, the local production of vaccine is going to require a lot of political will, because technology, its transfer will be very, very expensive. So we require political will at the highest level in order to give us the type of support we need to achieve that. But it is critical for this country to do this because the population is growing. The projection is that within the next 10, 15, at most 20 years, we will be hitting over 200 million people. So we need to locally produce vaccines for that huge number of children that will be coming after. But it requires political will. I remember that the last, very early, when we discussed with an Indian firm who were ready to transfer the technology, they requested for as much as $35 million US for both the transfer of technology, capacity building, and to assist us set up the first local vaccine production plant. And in any case, in all these projects, we'll always have a strong research component, which will now also provide avenue for our own staff to look at the technology, look at the products, and think of how to improve them in terms of efficacy and specificity and so on. So it requires a lot of political, but it is doable. Right now, we have a local vaccine production group, which has been on for about 5 years. We've already we're working on, because we want to get the private sector to buy into this project, knowing that it's going to be highly capital intensive. The only way out is to get the private sector to buy into it. And that's why we want to, first of all, have a national policy on local vaccine production. We have gone far in that regard. We're also preparing, we'll get a competent group to do a business plan, a reputable company to do a business plan. All this will convince businessmen, investors, both local and internationally, that is cost effective and profitable to invest in this area of business. So it is one of the areas I will focused on because I've been an active member of the local vaccine group. We are doing that in conjunction with National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and NABDA and some international agencies like UNICEF and so on. So we are very interested in that, and it's one of the areas, one of the things I will also be focused on, trying to see what we can do. I know some money was made available to Mayor and Baker. We'll also be able to discuss with them, find out how far they've gone, and what if there are any problems and what we can do to also help. Now, with regards to our biotech centers, it's a thing that is very, very critical and important to us. We have presently about functionally full established about 26 centers, but 5 more are coming on stream, bringing it to 31. So virtually almost all the states of the Federation now have our centers. There are a few states that do not have. We're sure that in the next few years, next few months or years, the remaining states that do not have centers will have them. Every local government in this country has bioresource. There is none that doesn't have, not even one. And the biotech centers, their key function is to harness the indigenous local resource around in their center of influence. They have to inventorize the bioresource in their locality. And then we now think of how do we harness this local available resource to impact on the lives of our people. In addition to doing research, we must do something that rapidly impacts on the lives of our people.
Dr. Dr. Aminu Mohammed, an Adamawa State-born, is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Venus Medicare Limited, a health maintenance organization accredited by the National Health Insurance Scheme and a subsidiary of Zenith Bank Group. Venus provides health insurance services to individuals, small employer groups, and the large corporate organization in the private sector. Positives of Venus are: the firm belongs to a financially solid and highly respected family. The firm is committed to upholding the brand reputation of excellence, most reasonable and realistic premium, cutting-edge information system technology, and the prompt payment of healthcare providers for services.
Yeah, Dr. Aminu Mohammed, for short. I'm from Adamawa State, Yola to be precise. In Adamawa State, I started my primary education in Gurin, in Fufore local government area, and I proceeded to Yelwa GSS, where I did my secondary school, and I finished in 1980 and proceeded to University of Maiduguri, where I graduated in medicine and surgery in 1989. And from there, I proceeded to ABU Zaria to do my residency training program in pediatrics. But I found myself into health insurance industry as far back as in 1999. Yeah, where I joined the National Health Insurance Scheme as a senior manager, and I grew up to an assistant general manager in actually 2005, before setting up Zenith Medicare. It used to be Zenith Medicare. I was actually invited, and I found it worthy to start an HMO. Then it was actually the National Health Insurance Scheme started the formal sector program in 2005, having done the informal sector in 2002, 3, 4. Then in 2005, with the coming up of the new ES by name Dr. Muhammad Mustafa Leki, who now rolled out the formal sector program. So I found myself into one of the HMOs. So I actually started the Zenith Medicare that now metamorphosed into Venus Medicare in 2016. Yeah, of course, I would not be satisfied. Nobody is. That's the truth. Because we see situations where people will fall ill and then they don't have money anywhere. Not even in the bank, not even at home. So how do you defray such huge medical bills? So paying out of pocket is out of the way. I can assure you. If I ask you, if for instance now, you have a sick person or even yourself, and you get to the hospital and they say bring so much amount of money, you will definitely revert back to your employer and say please help. So this is the situation where everybody, health insurance is trying to address. Now make a little contribution for the rainy day, so that in case of ill health at any point in time. So we are looking at a situation where the scheme is made mandatory for everybody in the country. We are at least 180 million, approaching 200 million Nigerians. So if we are talking about being compulsory for everybody to make contribution into the pool, we will be talking about, what do we need outside the country for? Nobody. Nobody will envisage to go outside the country for any treatment, because we are going to have everything in Nigeria. Talk less of, we are talking from, the healthcare facilities, the personnel, equipment, everything you need will be here. This is because we are going to have enough funds in the pool, and then we'll be able to defray. We'll be talking about transplants, we'll be talking about cancer treatments, not what we are managing now. Health insurance in Nigeria is just saddled with treating primary ailments. Whenever you talk about, secondary care, you now say, no, this is how far we will cover. I mean, maybe some percentage of cover, because the pool is still very slim in the sense, where you jig it a little bit, there will be no replenishment. It's all gone. So that is why we are talking about everybody must make contributions so that, we have large funds, in the pool. When you compare it with, I always compare with pension scheme. Yeah, because I recently read in the papers that, the PFS are managing up to 7-point-something trillion naira. Why not in health? Why not? In health insurance, rather in the health industry, we are talking about just a couple of, less than even 200 billion. What a shame. So this is where we even need more funds in the pool so that everybody will be covered. The vulnerable groups, the aged, you understand? People on the street, everywhere, communities, so people can come in an organized form and then get cover.
UBA Pension Custodian Limited is one of the first 4 licensed custodians. The quest to be the leading pension fund custodian in Nigeria drives UBA Pension to develop high-quality client services along with best-in-class technology as key competitive advantages. The company has set itself from an innovative viewpoint in the custody business as a differentiator amongst its peers. Mr. Bayo Yusuf is the managing director of UBA Pension Custodian, and he believes more participation in pension scheme will bring about increased coverage and funds.
PenCom recently have a look at our GPR fee again. It's something that we fought a battle, we were able to at least get some support from the regulator. It's something that we need to do. It's a scale business. It's a scale business. So when we scale, when more people come in, more fund comes in, you begin to see that 0.00 of trillion is a whole lot of money. But it's something that is still sustainable, but what we need to do is to get more participation. The more people we have on board, the better for the system. Our major focus is to ensure we improve the coverage so that we have more people. 8 million people out of about 70 million Nigerians is far cry. I don't think that anybody is against using pension funds for infrastructural development, particularly social infrastructural development, i.e. housing, medical, school, education, rail, and all of the rest. There must be structure in place. Simple as ABC. Don't forget that this money is not federal government money. It's Nigerian employees' money. There must be structure in place. So once structure is in place, the fund, we invest in it. As we speak today now, 75 to 80% of the fund are government securities, state and federal government securities. So what are we talking here? Nobody is saying pension fund should not be invested in infrastructure. What have we structure in place? Right now, as we speak, if you look at the investment guideline, we have almost 20% allotted to infrastructural fund. How much of that has been utilized? Is there any infrastructural fund in the market that the PFA are not investing in? No. That's the question you ask yourself. The investment banker, the investment community, investment banking community has a lot of work to do. We are operators, we're not the one that will originate the deal. Somebody has to originate the deal. We invest in it. Once it's right, once it's bankable, you need to see a clear picture of the fund. These are other people's money. If we put the fund in an instrument that there is no clear-cut exit strategy, and you need to pay retirees, obligation falling due, how are you going to address it? So these are the things that we need to do. Let us do the basic first. Don't let us just be glamoring for infrastructure. Let us do the basic first. When that is done, the fund is there. 8 trillion is there, and it's a small money. By the time we ramp up in the micro pension and people subscribe fully, you're talking about huge money here. How much is compared to our GDP? It's still nothing. We're still very in the potential is huge. The potential is huge. So let's do the right thing first, right policy in place to be sure that, yes, you will not put pension fund in an instrument and down the drain, you won't be able to get the money back. You will not make the pension as a liquid. And these are some of the things that we need to be sure. Once it's there, yes, as we speak today now, like, other than for the approved existing scheme or closed PFAs, you don't see the regular RSA fund in direct real estate investment. That tells you something. You don't see it in the real direct, other than in funds. Because if you put a pension fund in one structure now, and you need to realize some part of it and get money to pay, and it's not there. But if it's in a fund, you can come in easily and go out easily. And there's some other structure transaction that we done to make sure that, yes, this fund is safe. People can come in and go out easily. So that when you need to pay retirees, there's no story. It's a general problem. When you look at the economy, you can't give what you don't have. The states that are not compliant today, if you ask them, some of them are owing salaries. The resources are not there. If the resources are there, then fine. There are some states, as we speak now, they do deduct that of the employees, not none from the employer. So definitely is a liability on which they must pay at some point when the service retiring. So we need to look at the Nigerian state in totality. Some states are not sustainable. Some states, there's no reason why we're clamoring for more state and all of that. Some states are not sustainable. So how do you fund the liability? That is the question. The internally generated revenue of some states is very low. Everybody cannot be going to Abuja and asking for bailout and all of the rest. If the money is there, I'm sure the states will do it. But the money is there. It's for them to look inward and see how they can generate some revenue internally. That is when we can be sure that, yes, it is sustainable. If now, the interesting part of it is that, look, defined contribution is what we are doing, and states are not paying. Supposing we are doing defined benefit, supposing it was defined benefit, that would be very, very difficult for retirees. So all I can say is for the state to look inward and see how they can generate revenue. There is no state in Nigeria that doesn't have natural resources. It is for this state to look inward and begin to look at it. Singapore, what did they start with? Nothing, no natural resources. Nigerian have natural resources. It's for us to develop this to be able to have a self-sustaining state.
It all went down recently as the Rotary Club of Falomo hosted the district governor of 9110, comprising of Rotary clubs in Lagos and Ogun State, acting governors, serving executive, visiting Rotarians, guests, and friends. The district governor had a session with the new president of the club, Rotarian Ndubisi Okaro, and his executives on the way forward for Rotary Inspiration Year 2018-2019. Highlights of the program was induction of a new female Rotarian, Rotarian Edna Ohioze of Business and Economy Network.
I'm here this morning to share fellowship as part of my official visit to Rotary clubs in our district. I'm having fellowship with the Rotary Club of Falomo, and we've looked at their plans for the year, and I'm satisfied with what they have done. We looked at the area of health, where we'll be showing some level of intervention in partnership with government at the primary healthcare levels. We also look at the area of education, where we'll support the needy schools in partnership with government also, public schools where there's need for rehabilitation or renovation, we do. No matter how little, no matter how difficult, remember to share your time and treasure with your fellow human beings. You may never know where you will get the reward, but the good you do surely comes back to you.
This is Business and Economy Network.
Well, via this time will permit us. I want to say thank you so very much. Anything that has a glorious beginning definitely must come to an end. This is the size of the package this week. But remember, perseverance, focus, and determination will always take a man or a woman to the top. And also, too, when you have a bunch of key, remember, just one out of those bunches will open the door for you. Meaning, you will try and try. Definitely don't give up, because success is waiting for you at the other side. Just remain focused, persevere the challenges, and definitely you smile. I'll see you again same time next week. But remember, this conversation continues. Visit our website, www.greenspringgroup.com, or go to our YouTube channels, www.youtube.com/user/greenspringgroup, to add to the conversation. Leave your comments, and definitely we'll get across to you. Thank you so very much. God's willing, next week we'll do this again.